So hello friends, welcome to another lecture. In the last lecture we talked about the adders, subtractors and other circuits, and to just remind you people, we are discussed all the combinational circuits. So today we will be talking about the sequential circuits. Now first of all, let us try to understand what are sequential circuits. Just to give you the brief overview, basically we have combinational circuits, and to these combinational circuits we add some kind of memory. Alright. So when we add memory to the combination circuits, we get our sequential circuits. Alright, this is the basic idea. Now, how do we actually add the memory? Memory has got nothing to do with the actual storage and other things. Okay, what we are actually concerned with is basically memory may be introduced because of various types of acts. Like for example, if we have a combination circuit over here, if say suppose we have our n inputs, say x1 to xn, we have our m outputs. Okay, let me denote it by z. Now out of these we actually have some k inputs where we add this memory element to this, and this is how it goes. So this ABC capital Y1, so on up till we have our memory element, and we have over here. So this is now what is the basic idea is that these x1 to xn, we actually call them as inputs or our external inputs. Alright, these y1 to yk, okay, we will come to them a little later. First of all, x1 to xn and these y1 to yk, these all are actually called the collective inputs. Okay, this z1 to zm, these m and y1 to yk. Okay, all these are also the outputs. But x1 to xn, these are external inputs. z1 to zm, these are external outputs. Now what we actually mean by the external inputs, external input means that we can actually set their value. Alright, independent of the values of y1 and yk, y1 to yk rather. Okay, without affecting y1 to yk, we can set their value. We'll see actually how we can do that. Now these are the actually k inputs that are coming from the output of the circuit back to the input. Alright, after some kind of memory, or actually we call them as the delay. They are actually synonymous in case of these sequential circuits. Alright, so actually these y1 to yk, capital Y1 to capital Yk, when at the output, these are actually called our next states, because these are something that are expected to arrive in the next cycle. Alright, and these small y1 to yk, these are actually called the present states. So a case may also be there, we actually never put certain kind of memory. Okay, we just simply connect these inputs and the outputs. So the memory introduced into these circuits by connection is purely due to the delay that is into the path. Alright, so let us try to understand how these things work. So this is the basic idea about the sequential circuits. Now our first basic sequential circuit was the latch. That was invented way back, and our basic latch was actually this. This could have been implemented using the NOR gates or the NOT gate. We have introduced it over here. This was actually called the SR latch, some Q bar or whatever. So what actually the significance Q bar, we will come to that later on. Okay. For the timing, we will actually assume them to be capital Y1, capital Y2. Okay, because they are connected by the feedback. So this Y1 I call it small y2. This is small y1. Now this circuit has a very basic problem. Actually, then first of all you can actually see these gates. That is our NOT gates 1 and 2. These are the combinational part. They have been connected by the feedback, outputs and the input. So this feedback is actually responsible for the complete delay. Alright. So this what introduces the memory into the circuit. So this is a sequential circuit, no doubt. But it has a very big problem. Very big problem in the sense that whenever you switch on the circuit, it arbitrarily assumes any state. Alright. There's actually you cannot make sure that your circuit attains or starts in a particular state. So a solution to this problem came. Let us see how. So somebody modified this design. Okay, the same design can be actually made using the okay, first of all let me draw it using the NOR gate. That will be easier to understand. So this is how actually the same circuit that has been designed. Alright. Now somebody introduced a new design of the circuit, and let us see how. And it was actually called the SR latch. By S and R and what all the things, let us try to see, and we will come to that in a little while. Okay, so I call this S, this as R, this I call as Q, this I call as Q bar. Now first of all let us try to see what is Q and Q bar. Actually Q is called the normal output. Alright, and this Q bar is called the complemented output. Now a basic point is that this Q bar essentially has to be not of Q. Okay, these two values or these two output cannot attain the same value. Alright, they have to be complement of each other for sure. Okay, and through a feedback path that exists, this goes over here. Alright. Now let us try to understand the working of the circuit through the concept of truth table. Okay, so first of all, I will start with the concept of this. This S and R are our inputs and Q and Q bar are our outputs. So first of all, if we you remember we talked in the combination circuit, the working of the gates. Initially, say suppose I start with S as 1 and R as 0. Okay, now what is the property of NOR gate? If any of the input is 1, output has to be 0. Alright, for sure, definitely. If any of the input is 1, output will definitely be 0. However, if one of the input is 0, then we are not sure till the time we know the other input, that what will be the output. Okay, so S is 1, R is 0. Okay, we start with this as the initial configuration of our circuit. Okay, so I call this as case 1. Now when S is 1, R is 0, so S is the input of the gate number 2. Okay, and R is the input of gate number 1. Since R is 0, so I am not sure of the value of Q, the output of gate number 1, but since S is 1, so I am definitely sure what will be the value of Q bar, output of gate number 2, because any of the input is 1, output is definitely 0. Alright, because this is the case, this is initially 1, this is 0. So 1, because whatever the other input, this output will definitely be 0. This is 0. Okay, so now this 0 goes as input to the feedback onto this path. Now for the gate 1, I have both the inputs as 0. Alright, so by the property of NOR gate, both the inputs are 0, so output will be 1. Okay, this set to 1, this is 0. Now this 1 comes from feedback path over here. Now since S was 1, alright, so irrespective of the other input, this output will definitely remain 0. So our circuit output will not change. Over here you can actually see that S and R are our external inputs. Now here S actually stands for set and R actually stands for reset. Because we will see this circuit is designed in a way that whenever the value of S is 1, our output Q will be 1, because we will always take the output from the normal output. Okay, not from the complemented one. This is how the circuit has been designed. Okay, no doubt onto that. So when S is 1, R is 0, so Q is 1, Q bar is 0. Because when S is 1, so output is 1. Whenever the circuit is generating 1 as the output, so the circuit is said to be set. Okay, whenever R is 1, we will see the value of Q will be 0. The circuit is said to be in reset state. Okay, so now what do I do from here? I change these values to 0, 0. Because S and R are our external inputs, so I can definitely do that. I can set the value of S and R irrespective of the values of Q and Q bar. Okay, so now I change this to 0. R remains as 0. Okay, so now I remove the bracket over here. Okay, now see, you can see actually over here this remains unchanged. Now this S is 0. Okay, let me write it down over here. This R is 0, S is 0. So 0 and 1, output is still 0. Alright, 0 and 0, output is still 1. Oh, sorry, this is 1, this is 0. Alright, so this is the case 1. We are done. So you can actually see that is why this circuit is actually called the latch or the latching action. That once our output has been decided, if you change the inputs in certain way, obviously, okay, not for every chain, our output does not change. It gets locked or the latched. Alright. So now let us start in case 2. Initially with the value of this is 0, this is 1. Okay. Now let us talk about this scenario. Now you can see when any of the input is 1, output will be definitely 0. R is the input of gate number 1, so this will be 0. Okay, because this is now 1, this is 0. Because this is the input to the gate number 1, so we can definitely be sure of the output of the gate number 1, but not of gate number 2. Okay. Now, when this is now when this is set to actually 0, this comes from feedback over here. Now 0 and 0 output will be 1. Now again do the same thing. I change this to 0, 0. Now you can actually see and work out this will not change. Okay, because this will be 0, 0, so this will be set to 1. This will be going from feedback to 1. Okay. Now you can actually work out these options. Okay. Okay, now let us see what happens if I make both of them as simultaneously 1. Now what happens? Now since both of them is 1, so any of the input on the NOR gate is 1, output has to be definitely 0. Since both of them are 1, so both of them will be 0 simultaneously. But that is not allowed because our rule says that Q bar has to be essentially not of Q. So such kind of states in our circuits are actually called the forbidden states. Because this cannot be allowed to happen. Alright. So in the nutshell, if I summarize this table, I can actually say for my SR latch. Now for this as the value of output, now this is actually the value. If this is the present state, so this is the next state, isn't it? Alright. Now you can actually see the same value when we see at the output of the gate. This becomes the next state, and at the input it is the present state. Okay. Sorry. So what do? I write down in my truth table Qt plus 1. Qt plus 1 actually stands for the value of the output in the next state. Okay. Now you can actually see if I had 0, 0, S and R both are 0 0, so my circuit actually retained the value of the previous state, or the previous output was retained, it was not changed. So I can say actually my Qt plus 1 is actually Qt, because this actually Qt plus 1 is my next state. Okay. Now when they are 0 1, that we saw the case over here, so this was actually 0. When it is 1 0, so this was 1, and 1 1 was actually our not defined, or we could have we can say that it is actually a forbidden state. So this essentially is actually called the truth table of our SR latch. Alright, so this is one design of the SR latch that we have gone through using NOR gates. Okay, so this is SR latch using NOR gates. Alright, we have used 2 NOR gates. Now the exact same working we can also attain through the use of NAND gates. Let us see how. Now Now I slightly modify the design. How? This is actually going over here. This is same going over here. Okay. Now these are array number 1, 2, 3 and 4. But what do? I actually short the 2 inputs of this NAND gate 1. And similarly I short the 2 inputs of the NAND gate 2. Now for both the inputs or the shorted input, so actually 1 and 2 you can see they are acting as the NOT gates. So over here we are actually applying not S and R, but rather we are actually applying S bar and R bar. Isn't it? Because they are acting as a NOT gate. So let us see how. Actually these are S and R, so for your understanding I will write down S bar and R bar also over here. Okay. So these will be actually the inputs to the gates 3 and 4. Okay. Now what will be the value of Q and Q bar? Let us see how. Now what is the property of NAND gate? Okay, let us start again over here. So this was 1, this was actually 0 in our case 1. Now since S is 1, R is 0, so what will be the value of S bar? This will be 0, this will become 1. Now what is the property of our NAND gate? Any of the input is 0, output is definitely 1. Alright, this is what is the property of our NAND gate? At any input equals to 0, output equals to 1. Definitely. Okay. So now S bar is the input to the gate number 3. This is 0. So my Q has to be 1. Alright. So this is 0. This is 1. Now this output comes out to be 1. This becomes 1 actually. So this 1 comes from feedback over here. Now 1 and 1 output will be definitely 0. Alright. Now I change this to again 0 0 as in previous case, or done with the NOR gates. So now when this becomes 0, so this 0 complement, this becomes 1, so this is 1. Okay. Now this actually changes to 1. Alright. Our outputs previously being settled. So now this 1 and 1 output will be there's a minor mistake. Oh sorry, 1 is the input, so this was actually 0. So 0 and 1 output will be definitely 1, and 1 and 1 output will be definitely 0. So this remains unchanged. Alright. Now case 2, if we consider, now we start with this has 0, this has 1. Alright. Now so with this has 0, this has 1, so this S bar comes out to 1, this becomes 0. Now any of the input of the NAND gate is 0, so output will definitely be 1. This 1 goes from feedback over here, so 1 and 1 output will be 0. Alright, so again I change this to, now I change this to 0 0 as in previous case. This will be okay. Now this is 0 complement, this will become 1, 0 complement, this will become 1. Okay, this will be again 0 1. Now what happens if I have both of them as simultaneously as 0 0? No, sorry, I will take them as 1 1 as in previous case. Okay, so 1 and 1, both of them will simultaneously try to be 0 0. Now if the input of the NAND gate is 0, output has to be 1, so both of them will simultaneously try to be 1. This is not allowed because Q bar has to be not of Q or complement of Q. This is the rule of this circuit. Alright, so this is again called the forbidden state. Alright, so again you can see and you can match in the previous case also and here also. Our truth tables are exactly the same and the two circuits behave in exactly the same manner. Alright.